All right, now we're going to take a closer look at hydration. Danielle, if you could take us through some of the importance of being really mindful around hydration and what to do. Obviously, this is really important when we're starting to go the distance or running in climates which might be quite warm as well. If you could give us some pointers here, that'd be fantastic.
As most of you might know, the Gold Coast is quite a warm place to be. And especially when you're doing something like a marathon, you really want to make sure that you are on top of your hydration, because dehydration is also another cause of fatigue during both training and racing. Our bodies sweat to make sure that our temperature, our body temp stays within acceptable limits and that we don't overheat. So sometimes it's the only way for our body to cool down in really hot conditions like the Gold Coast is sometimes. If we lose too much sweat and become dehydrated, it's a lot harder for our body to maintain optimal body temp. So anything less than 3% of our body weight loss, your performance is at risk of being affected. Our goal is to really not lose any more than 1 to 2 kilograms of body weight. So if you go for a run in the morning, weigh yourself, and then when you come home, weigh yourself again, check out that body weight loss and make sure it's not any more than 3% of your body weight. So you want to start your race hydrated, not only on the morning of your race, but also the days leading into your race. It can be quite easy to get caught up in the carbohydrates and making sure you're eating enough, but also make sure you're really drinking enough in those days leading into your race. And even in training, making sure you start hydrated before you head out in the morning or in the afternoon, whatever time of day that you prefer to run. If you're out working all day long as well in the sun, making sure you're on top of that fluid before you start running in the afternoon and that you're not dehydrated before you start. So on race day, you want to make sure that your urine, so your urine's a really good indication, the color of it, of whether you're hydrated or not. So making sure it's a pale color. You don't want it to be really clear or you don't want it to be really yellow. Really clear means that you could be overhydrated, and obviously dark yellow can mean that you are quite dehydrated. So around 500 mils around 2 hours before you start your race. Drink to thirst if you're taking it easy. But if you decided that you want to try and go for a good time or you really want to push yourself in the race, it's good to have a plan in place of your hydration. So start hydration early, because as you get through the race, your GI tract or your gastrointestinal tract, the function of it might start to decline as all your blood starts to circulate towards your legs and away from your stomach. So function of your stomach starts to decline a little bit as you start to get on in your race. So making sure that you really stay hydrated at the start when it's really functioning well, and that you can absorb the carbohydrates and the fluid from your on-course nutrition or your carbohydrate electrolyte that you are having in the morning and the days leading into your race. Drinking too much fluids can also be dangerous. So hyponatremia, so that's where the amount of salt and other electrolytes in your body become too diluted because you're just drinking too much and your sodium levels start to decline and become dangerously low. So making sure that you're drinking enough but not too much in the days leading in and also during your race, as it can become quite fatal. And if you start to find that you're getting some symptoms like bloating in your race, don't force fluids in. You'll just make it worse. Just reduce the intensity of your race and just allow your gut to absorb those fluids and let it pass through your intestine for absorption. Cramping can be related to various factors, both underfueling, so not getting those carbs in early enough in your race, not having enough in the days leading into the race, which we'll cover soon, not drinking enough, not being hydrated enough before you start, and not keeping on top of your hydration in the race. Electrolytes, so you might not be getting enough electrolytes, and you might be excreting too much through your sweat. You're just losing too many electrolytes to maintain your body function. Research shows that even just being undertrained and not having that conditioning there can also cause cramps. So if you feel them coming on, don't stress. Make sure you're on top of your nutrition. Maybe back it off a little bit until it's passed. But if you've fueled yourself enough, if you've trained well enough, you should be fine on the day.